use my affiliate link to support the channel down in the description. Hey, what's up, guys? MetaGamesGX here, and who do we have here with us today?
I am Joshua.
Nice. And what do you have for us today? What did you recently do?
I got 11th place at a Utah Regional, about 145 people. Got 11th, so it's like okay.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. And we see, as we can see right now, it looks like you're on Branded Despia.
Yeah.
So before we get into it, do you have any shout outs or anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, shout out Darth Nash 6, he's the GOAT. He basically got me this deck profile, and shout out Old Man Wilson, he's like the dad of the Utah Yu-Gi-Oh community. He's like 50, and this is him in his 20s, so.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep.
Alrighty. And how many in the main deck do we got?
I got 40. I just like playing 40 cards. I don't like going over. It's just like a pet peeve of mine, I guess.
Totally fair. Well, with that being said, let's get into it.
Yeah, so we have like the usual, like the three Luber, three Fallen of Albaz, two Cartesia, and then just the one Quem. I feel like this is just pretty standard. This is what everyone's probably playing, so.
Yeah, you didn't find yourself needing any more.
No, just the one Guiding Quem I feel like is fine. And then we just have the bunch of like the one-ofs. So I'm just doing these. I decided to play Springen's Kit because I was going between like Branded and High Spirits, but I'm not playing that many like monsters. Then I tried Branded and White, and it really didn't come up really. I feel like Springen's Kit's like okay because like if you can go like Cartesia making Granganol, and you send like a Titaniclad, you can special summon Kit, and that can get you Branded Fusion, or it can get you just like a Branded in Red or follow up. So. I just decided to play that, and then the rest of these are pretty standard, I feel. So.
Yeah. Did you end up? I guess
Yeah.
I have a question on Kit because some builds don't end up running Kit.
Mm-hmm.
You ended up liking Kit overall. You wouldn't regret, or you wouldn't end up cutting it in the future.
Uh, I think I'm gonna continue trying it because I put this in like a couple days before the regional. Because I just wasn't feeling Branded and White and the High Spirits. It did come up where I normal summoned or I special summoned Ecclesia with the what I can't even remember the card's name right now. The Fusion Deployment. I normal summoned the Kit, search Branded Fusion, and then I used my opening to special summon Quem. So it's just kind of like another starter, and it can be another extender also. So it's pretty solid.
Awesome.
And then I am playing the Gimmick Puppet and the Dark Magician. I feel like on the like crackback, if you can go Branded Fusion, just summoning a Dragoon. If they don't have like a lot of resources, it's just game.
Yes.
And Gimmick Puppet's just an auto win. So.
Yeah. You ended up liking the Gimmick Puppet in the main deck and everything, even like in a format with like bells and crows. Like it was fine for you.
Yeah, I didn't actually get hit with Bell or Crow once. I think I got hit by so.
And I just have to ask because of the Dark Magician.
Yeah.
There's like because in the brand community, it's a pretty dividing line between these cards if you are running it or not. Why did you end up running the Dragoon in your deck and the Dark Magician specifically? Like what? Because when I look at Dragoon, it's something where I'm like, oh, I'm able to play through Shifter and stuff like that. But why did you run it? And then overall, did you like Dragoon?
Yeah, I really love Dragoon. I went to a regional a couple months ago, and I decided not to play the Dark Magician just because like Typhon was everywhere, and I really missed it a lot. There was like a play today where I went like Fusion Duplication against Dinomorphia player, and he had like two trap cards left, like set, because I like chewed through the other ones, and then I just made a Dragoon, and it was just like an auto win. He couldn't out it.
Oh, I
So
love
like
doing
negated,
that.
yeah, it negated his Ferret Flames. So,
That's
but
crazy.
yeah, I really like Dragoon.
Nice.
And then that's all for the monsters, and then I have 3 Branded Fusion, 3 Branded Opening, and then 3 Fusion Deployment. All standard. All 3 ofs, you have to see them. So.
Yep.
And then just the Branded Lost and Branded in Red for the 2 Branded spell one-ofs. So. And then I have Foolish Burial, Gold Sark, Called by the Grave. I was tempted to cut Gold Sark just because of Droll, because that really hurts. But I feel like if you don't open up like an Aluber or a play, and if you gold, you're gonna lose anyway.
Yeah.
So if you Gold Sark, search like an Aluber, and you get Droll, like you're gonna lose anyway if you didn't have it, most likely. So I'd like probably try to hold the Gold Sark, not don't activate it if you don't need to, but
Did you get drolled at all
and
today? Or
once I
sorry, at the
think.
regional.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I think I got drolled once, but it didn't really matter. It wasn't on the Gold Sark. It was on the ad of Branded Fusion for Luber, so it didn't
It
really
didn't
matter.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you like the Foolish Burial, obviously. I still think that, obviously it plays under Droll a lot better than Gold Sark, so I think that's definitely a
Yeah, for
mainstay.
sure, for sure. Like I got nibbed, and then I just had a token and I Foolish Burial because I just saved it in my hand. I sent the Gimmick Puppet, added Cartesia back to my hand, and then set Branded in red off of Albion. And so I just still Gimmick Puppet locked them through Nib, so it's pretty good.
Awesome.
And then just 3 Super Poly. This card's insane. I don't know what else to say about it. And then I played 3 Thrust and a Talents. So
How did you like the Thrust over something such as a Crossout package?
I feel like Thrust is a lot better because like you don't have like a lot of room to run hand traps and Branded. Like you could probably run like Ash and Imperm, but then like there's like Droll, Velar, Nib. Like you can't run everything. And then Thrust, just like if they Ash you, you can set Branded or not Branded in red, the Fusion Duplication. And then you can also like run like Floodgates in the side, like different dimension ground. So if you get like a hit with a Droll, that doesn't really hurt. You just Thrust, set different dimension ground, and that really hurts the Fire King matchup. So I really like Thrust. It also searches Branded Fusion. It can search like Harpy's Feather Duster in the side. It's just really really strong, and it's almost always live.
Fair enough, fair enough. And on top of that, you have the 3 Super Poly. I feel like this has been standard for basically ever on Despia, but I've been seeing some rumblings with people saying, oh, maybe you want to cut out this format for something such as Droplet, but it sounds like, yeah,
Mm.
it just performed for you, which you could tell me maybe about that in the matchups if there was anything there with Super Poly.
Yeah, for sure. We can get to that later, but it was really good for me this weekend. So, and then just the two traps, Fusion Duplication and Branded Retribution. Just duplication because you're running Thrust, and then Retribution's like just adding cards back. It's really good. So, should we do extra or side
Yeah,
first?
let's do extra first.
Extra first? Okay. So it's pretty standard. 2 Albion, 1 Lubellion, 2 Mirror Jade. Pretty standard, I feel. Some people play 1, but I like the 2. Just because, like, if they break your board, you can just make another Mirror Jade, like, without jumping through hoops to shuffle 1 back. So, and then just, like, a bunch of the 1-ofs, Fallon of Albad's fusions here. So,
Awesome.
pretty standard stuff, I feel.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm sure you like the 2 Mirror Jade. I've been seeing some people running 1, but it sounds like you did like the 2. And then the Titan Clad I feel like is really indispensable right now. So, yeah, no, sounds looks really standard.
Yeah. So, and then we have the other fusions is like Despian Quartus. This summons like you can summon this off of the Gragonol. And then like it also helps break boards because you can just like make everything 0. And then if they try to like get rid of it, you can just summon an Albaz or a Quem. So Draco Stapelia, Chimera, Dragoon, and then 2 Super Poly targets. So I feel like the extra deck is pretty standard. I don't think I would change anything about this.
Okay, yeah, no, especially, yeah, no, look, since you don't even run the Nadir, it's not like you need to run the Lulu. It seems really good. And then we talked about Dragoon before.
Yeah, and then like I don't want to run the Nadir because I was scared of like the deck is like has a decent Fire King matchup, I feel. So people are gonna be like playing this and then like voiceless voice. I don't want them sending like Intisses or anything. So I really like Nadir, but I feel like I didn't want to play it.
Fair enough.
So and then side deck, I just put in like probably the 3 like most high impact hand traps right now. Droll and Nib. So
How were they for you?
I never saw Nib. I sighted it in a few times, never saw it, and then I saw Droll like once or twice. And then Droll stopped their turn, so it was pretty good. So
Would you ever end up like so I know you don't really like, or you aren't running any hand traps. Would you ever end up maining any of these, or you didn't really miss them in your main?
I don't think I missed them in my main. I don't. I feel like a lot of decks aren't putting up like a ton of negates. Like maybe you'll see like an Appaloosa or maybe so you can like break your board with engine, just like summoning a Fallen of Albaz or just resolving branded fusion. Like if you have like branded lost up and you just summon a Mirror Jade and go Mirror Jade effect on summon, they can't respond. So I just feel like the deck can break boards pretty easily. So I don't think you could probably main deck Droll or Nib. So, but I don't. I just like them in the side.
Fair enough.
And then 3 Cosmic Cyclone. This is like one of the best cards in the side deck. It hits Fire King Island. It hits like anti-spell if they side it in against you. So, not much to say there. And then I decided to play 3 Bestials. This was because I wanted something for the mirror match besides like Super Poly. Um, Plus I was like Voiceless Voice because you can hit the low when it's trying to come back. And then
Yes.
they won't have the negate on the ritual and it won't get big. So I sided these in a few times. I think I seen Druid Swarm once against the mirror. So it was like okay. I hit their masquerade from their graveyard and then I put 8,000 damage on board and just killed them. So
Oh, nice. But overall, you wouldn't end up cutting them. You did like them. Like, how many mirrors did you play, for
I played
instance?
one mirror.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, I played against like an Orcus deck and I sided these in but I didn't see them. So
Fair
but
enough.
I would still play them. I was playing droplets before, but I don't feel I don't know like droplets against like going into Fire King. You can maybe hit like their Appaloosa, but like I don't know what else you would be hitting. Maybe an IP, but then they
Yeah.
have like ton of follow up and like recursion to grave. So I just didn't feel like it was worth it.
You didn't miss it at all.
No, I was playing it for like the longest time in my side deck. But like when I'd go to locals, I'd like side it in hardly like never.
That's my
So
issue
like
with the card.
yeah. So like against Fire King, I would side in like usually 6 cards like Cosmic, and then like I would have actually siding Nib in against Fire King and not Droll. I feel like they would be playing around Droll and not much as like Nib, but so
Oh,
I didn't feel
really?
like I needed more cards.
So you did not side in Droll versus Fire King.
I did not. I played 2,
Um.
and yeah, I didn't side in Droll against Fire King.
Wow. Okay. No, that makes sense about the Nib. Anecdotally, just from this weekend, I've heard Nibiru has been insane. Like they are not playing under it.
Yeah, Nibs was. I mean, I didn't see Nib, but like in testing it is really good. And then I have like 3 kind of like thrust targets and like the Harpy's Feather Duster, Different Dimension Ground, and Herald of the Abyss. So, um,
How
Harpy's
did you
Feather
like
Duster
them?
was insane. I
Yeah.
top decked it against like a Dinomorphia player. Was my 6th card. It was insane.
Oh my gosh.
He had a Solemn Judgment though, but like it brought him down to 4,000, and I just kind of like killed him, so it worked out. Um, Different Dimension Ground in theory, like if they like you're either gimmick puppet locking somebody, or if they like hand trap you and you have thrust, you can set Different Dimension Ground, and you can like set up a board of like maybe like a Dragoon or like a Drago Stapelia with like a branded and red set. Then plus you put Different Dimension Ground like on top of that. It's really good. Um, I hard drew this once and set it, but like I never like got a thrust search it, which was sad. And then Herald of the Abyss was probably like the worst card in the side deck. It never came in.
I presume you had that for Purrely.
Yeah, Purrely, and then there's a person around here known for playing like Crooked Cook like fish deck.
Mm,
So I would probably side this like take this out and play like another thrust target, maybe like the Daruma Karma Cannon, I think it is.
yeah,
So
that's pretty good against like something like Cash. But that's really cool. The
yeah.
different dimension ground. That's a cool tech.
Yeah, like I've seen people play the magic deflector where it stops like quick play spells, but I feel like it doesn't stop like bonfire or anything like that. So I just played different dimension ground. It worked some testing, but it didn't come up really this tournament.
Fair enough.
So So round 1 and 2, I played my only two Fire King matchups. They were just on Fire King Snake Eye. One person was playing like the Fire King monster that's a spell and trap negate, or no, just a spell negate, which I had no idea existed. But like, I went like thrust, grab talents after I activated monster effect, trying to bait it out because I had like a lot of discard cards in my hand. And then so I go talents to draw two, and he lets it through, and I top deck a super poly, which
Oh,
was just insane. Because I could have like played through it. I just needed more cards to discard, so I could have took, but I still like it was worth it. And then so yeah, I won both of those. Round 3 was a Centurion super heavy samurai deck. I went first, and I just gimmick puppet locked him because he didn't have any hand traps. And then
mhm.
game 2, I drolled him, and he just ended on like the Centurion Synchro monster that lets you draw a card, but he couldn't even activate that. So I just like went summon Fallen of Albaz, make a Mirror Jade, Branded Fusion, and then it was just game. Uh, and then round 4 was against an Orcus deck. Uh, I gimmick puppet locked him game 1. Game 2, he opened the God Hand. Like his end board was Fenrir, the Galaxy Eyes Xyz monster. It's like a monster negate.
Mm.
Galatea with the Babel, and then a set Crescendo. And then I couldn't like. I tried playing through it, but like I couldn't. It was just a lot.
Yeah.
And then game 3, I opened up kind of awkward, and I did misplay, and this cost me the game. But I went branded opening, and I had a Fallen of Albaz in hand, but instead I discarded a gimmick puppet that I had in hand. I don't know why I did that. I was just like tunneled on, oh, this is free. I'm just getting rid of a gimmick puppet like a dead card in hand.
Oh, yeah.
But then I summon a Luber and he imperms it. So if I sent the Fallen of Albaz from my hand, I could have branded in red and dodged the imperm. Because then the only
Mm.
card he had that was playable was a Fenrir, and he just outgrinded me from there. So I was like kind of upset that I just missed that, which it was just like free. And then round 5, I believe I played the Dinomorphia deck. It was very like he was playing like a bunch of solemns, like strike and warning, or not warning, judgment.
Mm.
Uh, I saw a Ferret Flames. I got him game 1 just by like outgrinding him. Game with the like the play with the summoning the Dragoon off of the different or the fusion duplication.
Yeah.
And then he got game 2 just because he like summoned a Dinomorphia monster and just set 5, and I just couldn't deal with it because he had just a bunch of Solemns back there, like Solemn Judgment for my Branded Fusion, Strike for my Eluber. So, and then game 3, I just I just like set up a board. He summoned I think it's Diplos,
Mhm.
and then I had a Mercurial in hand to negate it, and he set like 3. And then at that point, I just like chewed through 2 of his back row, and then just summoned a Dragoon. And the card he had in hand was a miscellaneous stories that he searched last turn. So like, I go add Branded in red during the end phase off of Albion, and then Branded in red popped his back row. So he was just drawing into like a card, and then he had a Misk that was like dead because he didn't have enough dinosaurs in grave really. So I got it there.
Nice.
And then next round it was against a Goaty Runic player. I think he actually got top 6, like 6th place.
Oh, yeah.
The guy was super cool, but I gimmick puppet locked him game 1, and then game 2 I just couldn't like outgrind him with like all the Goaty cards and the Runic cards drawing. And then game 3, I lead with Branded Fusion. He ashes it, and I hard open my 1 triple tack. So the talents. So I talents. Look at his hand. He has like a level 5 Goaty monster, a Nib, the Leaf Fish, and triple tack. So I just hit the Leaf Fish, which was his only playable card, and
Yeah.
then I summoned Quem off of like the Titaniclad that I dumped off Granganol, and then I just pass. And then he sets a card and just passes back, and it was a Call by the Grave. But like I top decked a Luber, so I summoned a Luber, grabbed Branded Lost, and then Branded Lost, and then I had to like Branded Fusion for my deck or for my grave to my hand, and then he just couldn't respond with the Fallen or the Call by the Grave, and then I just killed him with like Albion, Mirror Jade, Granganol.
Nice.
And then round 7, I opened up kind of like awkward, where he ashes my Branded Fusion. So I like make kind of like a board with like Granganol and Quem, but he just like pushes through it and kills me. And then game 2, I just straight up break. Like my only play was just like set Called by the Grave pass. So like he summons a diviner, right? And then like sends the level 9 fairy monster. And then he like pops the diviner to bring it out, and the diviner activates to like summon something, right?
Yeah.
So I Called by the Grave it, but like he still puts up a negate through like the Call by the Grave, and then he like attacks for like 40, 100 or something like that with the ritual.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to play through one negate, and he has like, I think like 2-3 cards in hand. I don't quite remember, but I have like double thrust in hand. So I like normal normal Fallen of Albaz to like try to like get rid of the negate. He negates it, and then I go thrust, and then he ashes the thrust, and then after that I didn't have any plays, so it was unfortunate. But yeah, that was round 8. So
Nice.
yeah, that's the deck profile.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you very much for showing off your deck, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. In the future, are we gonna see you still on Branded? Is Branded one of your mainstays decks, or will you be maybe on trying out something different?
No, this is probably one of my mainstay decks. I really like this deck. It's probably like my second favorite behind like Murmella Landian, so I'm probably gonna stay on this for a while.
Those are some good decks. All right. Well, with that being said, thank you very much for coming on, and please everybody leave some love in the comments and leave some likes for this wonderful deck profile. And with that being said, we'll talk to you guys later. See you guys.
Bye.
A special shout out to the channel members. We have recently started channel memberships, so if you'd like to support the channel for $5 a month and get some great channel perks, including getting all of my deck lists early and some early videos, then make sure to sign up. You also get a cool shout out. So shout out to this month's channel members, Ari Diaz and Foss Squared. Thank you guys so much.